So I kind of want my channel to sound more like a series, considering I am going to be living in Japan from here until the point at which I get a Nissan Skyline R32. So I'm going to start each video kind of by going like, previously on Hey Bentai. And the fact that when I arrive I have to do work visa paperwork, my COE for my residency card, 2 check bags, and get to the dorm. Essentially that leaves us with pretty much 0 time. It is currently day 3 and I'm 3:40, currently 5 a.m. I am in the... Some lady just went by on a moped, dropped all of her newspapers and took JDM Hunter or something along those lines. And now here's the pitch. Okay, so today marks the first day of a new series that I want to start. This is the pilot episode, so if this does well and I get some comments and I get some likes, this will continue. The idea is that because I am in a very special circumstance, the circumstance being that I am an international student living in Japan. I'm here for 4 years. I have a pretty extensive car background. I filmed car interviews back in America. I was a mechanic, a tech at Toyota, if you will, for many years. So I have a bit of a technical background. And I want to film JDM gems that are hidden in the boroughs of Japan for the internet, and then give my personal technical take on them and kind of do a showcase slash a spotting slash a breakdown of what I see and try and give you guys some cool information, make it entertaining. So let's get right into it. Okay, now neither of these are necessarily a Japanese find, but check this out. We've got an old, looks like 60s Beetle and then a Boxster. This is hilarious for the first episode. This guy right here, if you can see, is train spotting. Super popular in Japan. Take a picture of every single train that exists in this country. This guy's got step stool and everything. Now, before we spot any cars, it's absolutely mandatory we get some grub. I haven't eaten anything today, so we're gonna stop by little Konbini. Take a look at these crazy bikes up here. How long do you think these have been sitting here? A little while. They've been there for a little while. 7-Eleven. 7 & I Holdings for the culture. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the best piece of advice for if you're visiting Japan as a tourist right now when it comes to the language. Learn katakana, learn numbers, and learn basic phrases. You'll do just fine if you can do those 3 things. I'm walking you guys over to a little spot of mine down by a creek where I like to eat because it's out of the way of everybody else, it's secluded, and it's also shaded. So we're gonna eat a little bit and then we'll start looking for some Japanese cars. Every city's got tons of these little areas, and you're not really supposed to eat down here, but I like to come down here and eat because it's secluded and it's usually pretty shaded. And it's like a milky kind of water with electrolytes and stuff. This is super yummy. And we got the chizu kare pan from the hot items, and then we got a spam musubi.
Look at that bad boy.
Okay, that's all for a late breakfast. Let's hit it. If you leave feces, we report it. Well, I'll make sure not to be doing that then, because I don't want to get reported. Okay, now, since this is the pilot episode, I cheated a little bit, and we're going to be looking for cars in Kawasaki, which is where I live. So I've already got a few cars on the list that I want to hit today, show off to you guys, and then in the next episode we'll be traveling to a random city and looking for car finds there. But since this is brand new, I think we'll hit a couple guaranteed hits. This is how you dry your bedding in Japan, because the dryers in Japan suck straight butt cheek, and it is like 100 and a gazillion% humidity all the time during the summer. So you gotta just hang your stuff off the old balcony. Now, looking for cool cars in rural Japan, you gotta really keep your eye out. I'm looking down every single little alleyway, every little parking lot, and then anytime I see a glimpse of something that might be interesting, I just walk over check it out. So, okay guys, we're coming up on what I remember being an area that has a couple good finds, so let's see if any of this stuff is still here actually. This is the first find of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a 4-door Nissan Skyline R34 now. This one is in very good condition. The paint looks pretty darn immaculate. The wheels have actually been polished and cleaned. A lot of times the wheels here will just rust out, so this thing is super cool to see. And I think every car we do find will film a small little montage, so let's get it. Take me on a day in a Benz truck, fun out of sleep. Yeah, I guess it's just my bad luck. I feel like all my friends think that I'm fucking up. Okay guys, while filming this beautiful 4-door 34 over here, I saw the peak of something over there. Let's see if you guys can guess what it is. What does that look like to you? Yeah, that's right. We got an R33 GTR, baby. Absolutely amazing find here, guys. We have a real R33 GTR. So now the Skyline we saw over there looks to be a it's all-wheel drive, but it's not a GTR. GTR is top of the line. So this spec, I believe, is going to be always an RB26 DETT. It's going to have the all-wheel drive system. Absolutely a gem of old 80s, 90s, early 2000s JDM sports cars. I put those kind of all in the same category because they're all like from the 80s to the 90s to the early 2000s are all that like peak where like those cars are like Fast and Furious stuff. That's your old AE86s, that's your R32 GTRs, that's your 34s, that's your Supras, even your Mark III Supras, your Celica Supras. Like all that stuff is in that area. Your NSXs, your FDs, so amazing finds right there. A couple Skylines to start the series off. Can't be too upset. Now, if you have made it to this part in the video, I'd say you're pretty darn invested, and since this is the pilot episode, I would love some feedback. What do you enjoy about this? What do you not enjoy? What would you like to see more of? What do you think could help amplify the series? Since you guys are the first people that are watching this, you have complete freedom to tell me what you think I should do, and I'm most likely going to take the advice or the criticism and implement it into the video. So, do you think the series as a whole is even a good idea? Is this interesting? Is cars out in rural Japan interesting, or should I just go to Daikaku every week and film the same stuff everybody else is filming? I don't know, maybe. This is definitely going to be harder to get off the ground, but I think it suits to the niche that I can fill, which is not a lot of people are going to come out and walk around these rural suburbs. So yeah, leave your feedback and also subscribe. That R33 GTR was absolutely amazing. What's super cool is I have actually seen that car driving around. So although the front ends needs a little bit of love and the wheels are kind of rusty and a little bit corroded, it actually still gets driven, which is so cool to see. You don't really see a kind of beater R33 GTR in America. All the stuff in America is pretty darn nice considering it had to get exported and imported into America at some point, and then someone paid a pretty hefty amount, but yeah, that still is just driven. Super cool to see. Also, check this thing out. Is that a 2-seater? That's Toyota Auto Body electric vehicle. I don't know if that's really a cool JDM find, but it is cool. It is JDM. Okay, here's a pretty decent question. How many cars per video do you guys think should be in here? Should there be 5? Should there be 7? Obviously I don't want these to be super short videos, but obviously I don't want them to be super long videos, so I'm thinking 5 cars, especially if I start doing a new city every single day. That's, I travel to the city, I find 5 cool cars, document them for this series, boom, outro. I think that could work pretty good. So we're already up to 2. We've got a 33 GTR in the bag, and then we've also got a 34 4-door in the bag, and there's 2 more that I know of in this area. Kind of, I just gotta find them again. But trust me, you guys will want to stick around for these. These are super, super cool. We've been walking for a good couple minutes. I have a strong feeling that we are getting close. Okay, this isn't exactly what I was looking for, but it's worth documenting. We have an E30 BMW with, I don't think that's a real M badge because this is definitely not a E30 M3, but we've got a 4-door black, almost, it's a very metallic-y black. It looks super, super cool. I think we'll film a quick montage of this bad boy. Okay guys, we found it. Take a look at this. That is by far the best condition S-chassis car of any generation I have ever seen. That is a seafoam green 2-tone S13 Nissan Silvia, and it was in immaculate condition. I believe all of them came with an SR20 in Japan, so that thing would be an absolute museum piece. I mean, it is, but just seeing one in the wild is so crazy. And then beside that immaculate S13 was a 3000 GT, or GTO as it is known in Japan. In America, there's obviously the Pontiac GT, so they did a whole different name for America, but that thing was also insane. I've got some footage and some pictures of it flipped around the other way, so I'll put those on right now so you guys can take a look at that. It has so much aero on it, it was almost impossible to tell it was a 3000 GT from the front. It looked like a 180 SX with like a crazy amount of aero, or like it was given almost FD vibes. Like it was, that thing is insane. Those are 2 more amazing finds. So we've got an R33 GTR, an R34 GTST or GTT, whichever, and then, whoa, what is this? Is this a Civic? Honda High Deluxe. Is this a Civic? I actually don't know what this is. That is super cool to see. Is that a wooden Nardi I see though? Oh, it's not even a Nardi. A Racing 2. Oh, it's a Momo. It looks like an old like prototypo almost. That is super cool. Is that our 5th car for today? Are we gonna do 5 for the videos? I think the pilot episode will do 1 more. So we're gonna keep walking until we find 1 more car. So I've ended up in kind of more of a downtownish area. We're gonna head back towards the suburbs. I just like walked all the way out of them, but take a look at this. This is the bike parking for the train station. It just goes to show how many people in Japan bike to work. They either bike all the way to work, or they'll bike to the train station and then take the train to work, and then they'll walk to work. That's why everyone here is so skinny. It's because there's such a healthy lifestyle, physically, not mentally, but physically, yes. These little parking areas here are what I'll often take a peek in when I'm walking through these rural areas, because there'll be like one kind of general parking area for a bunch of the buildings, so you can just peek your head in there, see if there's anything cool. This one looks like it's pretty dead, but we're obviously gonna keep looking. I wonder what's under that car cover. Way right back there. I love guessing what's under car covers, especially if you can like see the poke of like a wheel or a bumper and actually ID it. That's like the most satisfying thing ever, just being like, I think that's a, and then getting it right just off of the silhouette of the car. But yeah, just something like this looks pretty dead, so we'll keep walking. We are back in trusty old 7-Eleven, 7 & I Holdings. I'm dying out there, it's so hot. We're gonna get a little drink. I'm just gonna pop a squat outside this convenience and probably crush this entire Aquarius right now. Okay, we absolutely crushed an Aquarius. I am rehydrated and ready to go. We need one more car. Before we end this video off, this first episode of JDM hunting, I don't know, that sounds a little cheesy. I'm still thinking of the name. If you guys can think of a name, we could change the whole series. We might be ending the video here, guys. We found the coolest JDM car ever. The Fiat Multipla. Known as the world's ugliest car, a JDM right-hand drive Fiat Multipla. Oh yeah. Yeah, no, we're not ending the video on that thing, but one more car, guys. One more find, and then we'll call it a day. Okay guys, I think I just stumbled across our last pull of the day. We have a Toyota Altezza, known in America as an IS300. In Japan, these have a Beans 4-cylinder engine as opposed to the 2J that everybody knows these come with in America. This one looks decently clean. These came with like 8 different bumpers, the Altezza, which is kind of hilarious. They've got the bumpers for the JDM versions, the USDM versions, the Euro versions. They have bumpers for both the 4-door and for the wagon. That's got a completely different bumper. There's TRD bumpers, there's Neo bumpers, so I don't know which bumper this one is, but they had a lot of them. We've got some aftermarket wheels, a little bit crusty, and then a pretty cheap looking vinyl wrap on the hood and on the roof. This is not carbon. We've got some rain guards on the side, and I think it will hit a very quick montage. It's going to be all for this episode, this pilot episode of JDM hunting. If you guys are interested in following along, make sure to subscribe. The next episode of this series that comes out, well, I'm not sure, but the next video that comes out, I may or may not be carrying the float in a Japanese Matsuri, so make sure to click subscribe for that. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.